Welcome to the 2024 Game Awards. We have a lot in store for you, and I am your host, Lord Wolfgang. And this is me dressing fancy in a suit that does not fit me anymore. This was my high school suit, and I'm almost 30. Suckers. Way too tight around the shoulders because I'm so buff and not. I have a lot in store for you. We are changing it up. Last year, we did a tier list. This year, we are doing superlatives. This is more set up like the actual game awards. This year, I have categories for the best Pokemon game of the year, best Final Fantasy game of the year, best Zelda game of the year, longest playtime of the year, best highlight of the year, best fan-made content, best game direction, best narrative, best art direction, best score and music, best voice actress performance, best voice actor performance, most emotionally impactful, most completed games within a franchise, most common chat word, my top off-stream games, the games that I enjoy playing by myself, for myself, and my most popular stream games of all time. And up for those categories, we have, for Final Fantasy, we have Final Fantasy 5, 7, 7 Remake, and 7 Rebirth. That's a lot of sevens. For Zelda games, we have A Link to the Past, A Link to the Past Randomizer, Ocarina of Time Randomizer, The Minish Cap, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, A Link Between Worlds, and Link's Awakening. For Pokemon games, we have Legends Arceus, Pokerogue, Pokemon Infinite Fusion, and Radical Red, which I did not make it very far in. I did not need to complete the games for them to be on the list. In the games that I have one-offs for, I have Minecraft, Stardew Valley, Path of Exile, Terraria, Black Myth Wukong, and Five Nights at Freddy's. And for our first category, we have the best Pokemon game of the year, starting in third place. So this is going to be a top 3 finishes for each category. Third place, we have Pokemon Infinite Fusion. This is a fan-made game. I enjoy it quite a lot. There is a lot of good stuff about it. It is a brand new gimmick that Pokemon never thought of. What happens when you fuse Pokemon together? Sometimes they're abominations, sometimes they're really cool. My favorite fusion so far is Phantom and Noctowl. That one looks menacing. I really like that one. Super cool. That was actually one of my first fusions, actually. This game has Pokemons from like the first 5 generations to choose from. Like, that's a lot of Pokemon to shove into essentially the world map of Soul Silver. So it has Kanto and Johto regions, and they put all those Pokemon throughout the regions. Brand new storyline. It was really fun. I am actually still currently playing it. I do that one on Saturdays, and if you want to check it out, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Saturdays, I typically stream at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. And for number 2, Pokerogue. This one is the runner-up. This one's another fan-made game. This is a roguelike. You go through levels and defeat Pokemon battles. This one's really cool. Like, whoever thought of this had something going on. It's a gauntlet up until Eternatus at level 200. I have beaten this game, and it was a challenge, and I really like that about it. If you're really good at Pokemon, this probably isn't much of a challenge, but for me, I am a novice at Pokemon, and I had a really good resource with Tropius Forest. If you want to go check him out, he is really good at Pokemon. Link is in the description. And for my number 1 Pokemon game of the year, Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is a first-party Pokemon game, changes the formula of Pokemon for first-party games. This one was really good. Great story, had awesome points, really good music, and felt like a fresh start for the series. And I think this is a game type that they're going to continue making for a long time. It is a free roaming open world game where you go up to these Pokemon, find them, fight them, and it is really something special. The only thing that's not special is my pull rates for shinies. For full odds shinies, I have put in, mind you, quite a few hours into this game. I have of course, the Gimme Ponyta that everybody gets. But the full odds shinies that I got were Zubat, Golbat, and what would you guess? Oh, yeah. Then another Zubat. My luck for shinies in every one of the Pokemon games is so bad. It's okay. We'll forgive it because that game was just that good. If you haven't played it and you have a Switch, I would 100% suggest it because that is one of the better Switch games, personally, in my opinion. All right, for the next category, we have the Final Fantasy Game of the Year. Thank you, Juice, for making me get out of my comfort zone and play various games because most likely I would have never played Final Fantasy 7 or 5, and those were both good experiences in my opinion. I've had fun playing most games that I've played so far. There's not that many games that I outwardly hate besides Final Fantasy 4. I know a lot of people like that, but I played the 3D remake and it sucked. That was 2023 though, so fresh slate 2024, baby. And in third place, we have Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. If I didn't play 7 OG and remake right before this, I probably would have liked it a lot better. But alas, this one is in third place. I feel quite bad for this game because I think it had a lot of redeeming qualities. Temple of the Ancients was epic. Some of these boss fights were really something special, especially the last gauntlet. That was very fun. The date scene with Cloud and various other characters throughout the cast was super fun to look through, and the fact that he has date with essentially all of them was very fun, very emotionally impacting. And another part that was extremely emotionally impactful for me was the scene with dying. That would hit me in the heart so hard in Rebirth. The fleshed out combat system from Remake was a step in the right direction for making it almost like the perfect combat system. It was very clean. The real-time mechanics were, I can't imagine how much more fleshed out they can get it with the third game, but this one was extremely good. And the scene to end the game blew my socks off. It looked like a movie. Beautiful. If they could make a movie that looked that good based on the series, another one, not Advent Children, another one, I would be blown away. I think they really need to, and I would look forward to that very much. And yes, Square Enix, I will voice somebody in the movie, mark my words. And in our runner-up spot, number 2 poo-poo is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have a huge soft spot for this game for Jessie. Jessie is one of my favorite characters in this game, and what they did to her really brings tears to my eyes. Bruh. The tower scene was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to deal with emotionally in my life. Jessie was my favorite. And then I would say Cloud and Tifa were tied with second best. In their OG, she only had maybe 3 lines, but in this, she was something special. And she loved me. Yes, Jessie, you are my favorite. Bro, they did her so dirty. Even though she lasted way less time in the original. Don't tell my wife. Oh wait, she can hear me. Ooh woo. Enough dilly-dallying. The parts that I hated about this game. The second time in the sewer sucked Sigma nuts. It was so bad. The pacing was awful in the second sewer scene and felt entirely pointless. Why pad a game like that? It makes the game worse overall as an experience. And also, the ghost graveyard put this game to a screeching halt. The aesthetics were cool, but move it along, dude. Move it along. Make this 15 minutes and not an hour and a half. It was boring. And to our crown jewel, I had never played this as a child. I don't have any nostalgia for this game. In first place, by a wide margin, is the original Final Fantasy VII. This game is near perfection pace-wise. The characters are extremely lovable. This is a 45-hour game, 50-hour game that Square Enix blew up to probably 150 hours with the other games. Obviously, if you streamline it and go through Remake and Rebirth, you can probably get it done in 100 hours. But say you experience the entirety of those 2 games, you're at 100 hours and there's a third part to it. It's probably going to be 150 hours no matter how you cut it. Based off of a game that's like 50 hours. They expanded it a lot. And that's just how impactful this game was. This game is 30 years old, and it still hits everybody the same way. It is so good. The character writing in this game is some of the best that has ever been done in gaming history. Cloud, Sephiroth, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett. These are names that ring in so many hearts. This game is special, and I finally got to experience how special it was at the beginning of the year. Hopefully I have amnesia and I can just go through this game for the first time again. This game was so impactful to me that for the rest of my life, I'm going to have memories of this. I loved it. This is such a clear margin over the newer remake games. I don't even consider those 2 and 3. They're so far beneath this game. And that's just my personal opinion. I know some people have other opinions, but personally, I just love this game a lot. It is a masterclass in creative writing. Enough rambling about this. Let's move on to my personal favorites gaming series of all time. The best Zelda game of the year. And I've played a lot of them, so there was a lot of deliberation. In third place, we have Breath of the Wild. This was a breath of fresh air for the series. I don't particularly love the open air Zelda games. Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are lower on my list of favorite Zelda games. I would say they're ranked bottom half of the list for my personal list. I just don't love the way the story is told. I don't love the dungeon design, if you can call them really that, because they're not the same brainchild. The Divine Beasts are a major step down from what Skyward Sword produced, but Skyward Sword is not on this list. I'm so sorry to say, but Breath of the Wild is, because it is something different. It was a breath of fresh air to me because I've been playing a lot of Zelda games throughout the years, and this is the game that I started streaming from. This was the first full game I ever streamed. This is where one of my OG viewers, Erin, started watching my streams. She was the first one to come in and comment that wasn't family or a close friend. Let's just say I got totally addicted to streaming over the last 2 years, and it's been a extremely fun experience so far. So thank you, Erin. You definitely helped me through some tough moments in streaming. You were the OG. You literally are the OG. So is Juice, so is Tropius. They've been there since the beginning too. They've helped me a lot as well. But for somebody that I didn't know prior, you definitely helped me through streaming. Breath of the Wild, I'm sorry, you're in third place. It's not that bad because you beat out 5 other games. I don't know how. Don't bring it up to me. Bring it up with the list. I might have written the list, but bring it up with the list. This totally not blank piece of paper that I'm holding because it makes me look official. This is the Game Awards. One last note I have about Breath of the Wild. Calamity Ganon is probably the worst final boss of all time. Sucks so bad. I kept him alive just to listen to the music longer because it was that epic, but his fight sucked nuts. It was bad. All right. Runner up, Zelda Game of the Year. We have A Link Between Worlds. This game is something special. It was a 3DS game, but this was a game I had extremely low expectations for. I thought, handheld game, nothing special. This is probably just a remake of A Link to the Past. I thought, there's nothing gonna be new here. I was so wrong. In any other timeline besides having our number 1 on this list, this would probably be top 5 all-time best Zelda games. This one's so sick. There's a new gimmick here, and it makes puzzle solving so much more interesting. You become a painting on a wall. Just think of that. And you can slip through cracks. You can find your way around a room. It is magical. I have no nostalgia for this game. I played it for the first time on stream this year. Boy, this gameplay is good. The only gripe I have with this game would be how overpowered you are right from the get-go with essentially an entire arsenal at your fingertips, depending on how much rupees you have. It's quite hard to die in this game too, so you're not losing your stuff very often. I died 2 times in the entire game, and 1 time I literally had already purchased everything throughout the whole game, because you can rent and then later on you can buy. And during rental, I died 1 time, and it was pretty annoying. I will give you that, but I had just started that day. The arsenal, though, is really fun. And the fact that you can upgrade a lot of the items to have new things involved is quite cool too. You become overpowered very easily. If you want a suggestion for a first Zelda game, I would suggest either Ocarina of Time or A Link Between Worlds. They're both relatively easy games. You can get them for handheld. And yeah, I just think this is a great experience overall. It's not a huge time sink either. I got essentially everything and I put 19.5 hours into it. Really nothing major. And number one in my heart for best Zelda game of the year is a new classic that I will be playing on repeat for the rest of my life. During the recording, I forgot to actually say the name of this game. It is A Link to the Past. This game is magical. The story isn't perfect. It's good enough. It's very bare bones, but it laid the foundation for the rest of Zelda's gaming history. This is where the linear format started. This was a major step forward in the Zelda franchise. You play 1, you play 2, and then this game comes out and it blows both of those games out of the water. The arsenal in this game is near perfection. The dungeons are much improved from previous games, and even still today they are beautiful and perfect to me. All personal opinions. Put all of your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to know your favorite Zelda game of the year. This one is mine, and this is now a game that immediately after I had to play a randomizer because I wanted to replay it, but I wanted more of a challenge because I had just played through it. And I plan on playing more randomizers throughout my entire life because this game was so good. The combat is perfect. If I did have a longer list for Zelda games, in 4th place I would put Skyward Sword because I loved the music and I loved the Silent Realm. I thought that was very fun. And in 5th place, I would have put the Minish Cap. For a Game Boy Advance game, that game was something special. And I think they should 100% remake that just like Link's Awakening. That game was goated. All right, now here for some quick fire categories. These games are the longest playtime of the year. And yes, I calculated each and every single game I played this year. For number 3, I have Final Fantasy VII OG with 51 hours and 44 minutes. And runner up, I have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with 53 hours and 4 minutes with around 6 hours in the demo. I say around 6 hours because I couldn't get an exact minute. I was playing multiple games in both of the streams that I streamed that demo. And number 1, I almost 20 hours is Minecraft with 77 hours and 25 minutes. We played that a lot this year. That game was very fun, had a very cool community, and we definitely started growing a lot from that very streaming series. And in the next category, we have the best fan-made game of the year. In 3rd place, we have A Link to the Past randomizer. This was very fun. As I stated earlier, A Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game of the year because Ocarina of Time is a game that I played last year, and that one I would prefer above this. But the randomizer, I did play. So I have the Ocarina of Time randomizer as my runner-up game. So fun. But for my number 1 fan-made game, it's Pokerogue. It is something so different, so fun from a franchise that I have a lot of love for from my childhood. So Pokerogue gets my number 1 fan-made spot. And for my favorite highlights of the year, at number 3, I have my Five Nights at Freddy's best freakout ever. Take a look. I went into playing Five Nights at Freddy's completely blind because my viewers really wanted me to for some reason. Let's just say they got exactly what they wanted. I have no idea how to play this game. So what exactly is the point of this? Can anybody explain this game to me? Okay, so what do I do now? Oh my god! Let's do another one for good measure. Oh my gosh. I thought I had that. How gamer. And for number 2, doo-doo. I have to say that every time. Why do I do that? Why do I have to do that? Okay, for number 2, I have the Hyrule Castle Cloak and Trents. Let's take a look. This A Link to the Past randomizer puzzle had my brain working overtime. I exhausted every single possible check I could. The only way I thought I could continue is to get the Book of Medora for the Desert Palace, or the Power Glove to go to the Dark World. I'm totally lost. I had plenty of useful items in my arsenal. I love this. Oh my god, no. And one of those was the magic cape. This makes you invisible and invincible if you wear it. This item just so happens to let you pass right through the gate at the top of Hyrule Castle, allowing me to continue my quest. How in the world was I supposed to know that? Figuring that out was so satisfying. Huge challenge though, because I had no idea that was even possible. And nobody in my chat could help me even figure that one out because we all kind of didn't know. And for my number 1 favorite clip, this is one that still I look back at and giggle. It is the Minish Cap D's Nuts. Let's take a look. Bruh, don't say that. Where's Michael Scott to say it for me? If only we had some way to defend ourselves against those nuts of his.
That's what she said.
They knew what they were writing when they wrote that. I swear to God, that's hilarious. Next up, we have the most common chat words. In 3rd place, we have the. Everybody uses the in a sentence. The, easy choice. Okay, what's 2? What's 2? Okay, it's GG. Because whenever I beat a boss, you know, it's a wall of GGs. Fair enough. But number 1 by a huge margin is, what do you think it is, huh? What do you think it is? It's Dio. Dio, the meme of the channel. It's not even close. I have an entire chat on my Discord. Link in the description. Shameless plug. There's an entire chat section in there for Dio, and it is constantly going off. Insane. It's lasted for a long time. Most completed games within a franchise. First up, we have number 3 with Pokemon. So far, I've completed 2 games this year of Pokemon, Legends Arceus and Pokerogue. And for number 2, we have Final Fantasy with 4 games, 5, 7, 7 Remake, and 7 Rebirth. And Zelda, we have 8 games completed. And the next category, we have my top off-stream games. Number 3, we have Helldivers 2. I love games that I can play with friends and family. So this game is super fun. You get a lobby of your boys. You say some stupid stuff for 3 hours and you relax. That's kind of the vibes that I've been going for recently. And it's nice getting back to playing games for myself sometimes. I love that. And number 2, Baldur's Gate 3. This game, chef's kiss. That game is very fun. And my number 1 game. This game is something that I started playing closer to the end of the year. This game was a huge part of my childhood, actually. And it's actually quite a niche game that most people probably have never even heard of. It's like a dungeon crawler. It is called Dark Cloud. I've been playing it on my PS5 for a little while now. It was originally a PS2 game, and I think I clocked in like 200 or 300 hours in this game when I was younger. It was a blast. It was just me and my brother. We would just try to see who could get further in like the same amount of time. And I just have too many good memories for that game, and I had to relive them. It is something special. There's like similar games, but nothing really captures that same feeling that I get from those 2 games. Next category, we have the most popular stream games of the year. For number 3, A Link Between Worlds. Surprising one, actually, to be honest. This had 68 live viewers watching it at one moment. That was the peak, was 68 live viewers. That's pretty cool for a game that came out on the 3DS, and it's relatively obscure. Very fun. I think people really noticed how much I loved that game, and that's kind of like what kept people around for that. Number 2, this game was really popular, and a lot of people seem to love it. I got a lot of new viewers for this. This is Breath of the Wild with 77 peak live viewers. Surprising that it's that close between 3 and 2, because one is so significantly further past these two. In the number 1 slot, we have Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Pokemon is the largest franchise of all time, and it is huge on streams. It is not my favorite gaming series of all time, but it is something that I enjoy to play as a leisurely game to talk to stream viewers and just have a grand old time. It is so chill, it's so relaxed, and especially this game, it's different enough to really hook people in, and they love seeing all the new, different, cool fusions that we make. This one had 142 peak live viewers. That's double number 2. Doo-doo. What? 142. Thank you all so much for watching those streams, and watching the streams in general. I have such a good time making them. I have an update to make about Pokemon Infinite Fusion. My largest stream now at this very moment was 488 peak viewers. Next up, we have the best voice actress performance of the year. Number 3 spot, we have Zelda from Breath of the Wild, Patricia Somerset. I am a sucker for a British accent, and I think it fits Zelda very well. In number 2, we have Tifa from Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth. Same actress. It is Britt Baron. I mean, come on, it's Tifa. It has to be Tifa. And in the number 1 spot, this is actually a streamer that I watch. It is Aerith from Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, Brianna White. She was actually up for the Game Awards category for Best Voice Actress. I think she has one of the best voices for gaming. And for Best Voice Actor Performances of the Year, I have number 3, John Eric Bentley. He plays Barrett in Remake and Rebirth. I mean, come on. Barrett is one of my favorite characters in the remake series. That attitude, that grit in his voice, he sells Barrett so well. I don't picture Barrett with a different voice. In number 2, this game is one that I didn't finish, but I really enjoyed the mythology aspect of it, and I thought it was fantastic. It was Black Myth Wukong's very own Sun Wukong, Mark Takeshi. I'm probably butchering that name. His voice fits so perfectly in that role. That game was so special. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And for the number 1 spot, you already know it. It's Cloud, Cody Christian, the guy from Teen Wolf. The only reason I know he's from Teen Wolf is because I looked it up, not because I watched it when I was younger. Cody, very good job. For the next category, we have the best game direction of the year. This category is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in gaming direction and design. In the number 3 spot, Black Myth Wukong. I know it's a game I didn't finish. I'm playing it off stream because it is something that I do not meld very well with on stream. There's a lot of trial and error. It's not something that I can stream very well. It is so fresh, so new, so stunning. Brings those stories to life, and I love it a lot. It's very fun. Number 2, best game direction of the year is A Link Between Worlds. It's something special, something innovative, has a great story, and it has great direction. That game is so dang good. I think the direction could even possibly be better than the original, A Link to the Past. Personally, I think so. So that's why I have it in the 2nd spot. But our number 1 spot blows these two clearly out of the water. We all know it's coming, but we never know how hard.
That's what she said.
It is Final Fantasy VII. We all knew that was coming. We all knew that was coming. It's so good. These awards are getting absolutely dominated by Final Fantasy games and Zelda games. Oh, that's so funny to me. It has to be Final Fantasy VII. Innovation of this game is still present in gaming today, and that is something special. This game is nearly 30 years old. A achievement, a marvel in gaming innovation. All right. This is the longest video I've ever made. The next category, we have the best narrative of the year. This category is for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Number 3, we have Black Myth Wukong. The narrative, the mythology. Like I said before in the direction, the story based on so much Chinese mythology and history without much more needing to be said. The number 2 spot. I know a lot of people think that I didn't like this game at all because I've said that, but I'm a rash decision maker. I don't think before I speak sometimes, but this game is something special. The narrative was beautiful. There was so many great moments throughout this game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There, I ripped off the band-aid. I had to say it. And moving on to number 1, the rightful king of this list. Essentially, the king of this list. It took over my life for a solid 2 months. It is Final Fantasy VII. There are so many ups, so many downs in this game. They hit you to rock bottom and raise you, soaring like a phoenix afterwards. You don't even know who you are. You don't have a clue because Cloud is an untrustworthy narrator. He steers you in so many different directions that you never know what's true and what's real. And that is a masterclass in storytelling and narrative. This game is, sorry, it's number 1. What can I say? Don't bring it up with me, bring it up with the list. Like I said, in the next category, we have the best art direction of the year. This category is for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. What are the marvels of the year? Not Marvel rivals. Number 3, we have Breath of the Wild. This art direction was something special. It looks very beautiful. It has such an aesthetic. The cutscenes are straight out of an anime. Beautiful. Number 2, Black Myth Wukong. There's a lot of Black Myth Wukong on this list. I know I only played it for a few streams, but it was very impactful. The design was so beautiful. All of the different monsters and creatures, and the world was so vibrant, and it was a technical achievement. Unreal Engine 5 really just allows you to express yourself so freely with such high fidelity, and they were really able to find their footing with this game and make it into something amazing. Same with the number 1 spot. It also used Unreal Engine. Interesting how that works. Unreal Engine is bloated. Yes, it's bloated for very large game sizes, but it is stunning in a way that is near photorealism, honestly. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The art of this game is just so amazing. And if we're talking technical achievement, I mean, just look at the characters. Look at the last scene of this game. It is movie fidelity. If we're just talking artistic design and animation, those two are stunning. These are more modern games, but that's kind of the category that we're in. In our next category, we have the best score and music of the year. This category is for outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtracks. In the number 3 spot, this is a score that I am surprised at how much I loved, with how little I loved the actual game, Link's Awakening. This game was made so special with the soundtrack, and I liked it a lot. It's one that surprisingly I actually started listening to at work, and it kind of got me motivated to work even harder. It's so interesting how good the production is. A lot of the Zelda games have great production, but this one was stand out. Very, very good music. Number 2 stood out just a little bit more. Skyward Sword had such an aesthetic, music-wise and score-wise. I think this stands alone as one of the best score and soundtracks of all time. The game was middle of the road. Like, there were some major issues I had with the game, but score and music was not one of them at all. In the number 1 spot, we actually had the same as the actual Game Awards. This is something special. It is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Again, same as the art direction. The score is just something special. The music hits so deep. You can feel the emotions that much more when the scenes happen. I can't think of better music when you're going through Dyne's existential crisis, or you're going through Cloud's date and how nervous he is, and the music is just matching the environment so well. You have to give it up to this game for just being so stand out musically. And next up, we have the most emotionally impactful moments of the year. In number 3 spot, we have the Final Fantasy VII Sector 7 plate falling, Jessie's death. This moment hurt my heart. This was a cry-worthy moment, and I think I actually did cry during this part. She was my favorite character in that game, and the fact that they knocked her out, it hurt my soul. It really, really did. And in the number 2 spot, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, A Date with Tifa. This moment where you see the awkwardness of the first date environment, and they were both just on edge. They like each other, but it was just so hard to express those feelings with one another until they really opened up. And then when Cloud really opened up and had that kiss with Tifa, it was, it was a magical moment in that game. And in our number one spot, this part messed me up for days. I had a momentary crisis in my own life because of this very moment. It is Final Fantasy VII. These are all Final Fantasy VII games, different games, but they're all Final Fantasy VII. It is the moment when Cloud is in his subconscious, revealing his true identity. I'm welling up just thinking about it. It's revealed to the audience that you didn't even know who he was the entire time. This was a facade. He wasn't the hero that everybody thought he was. He was the hero that was made up in his own brain. For our final category, we have our Game of the Year. This is an extended category. I'm giving my top 5 games of the year in order. Number 5, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus. This game was standout. Great art, very fun, so much character to this game. I can see myself really looking forward to Pokemon ZA. I think that's the next one in the series, and I think it's going to be very good, just like this one. In the number 4 spot, a lot of people loved this game. I'm one of them. This is a game that I've been playing since I was a little kid. Took a long time off, but we got right back into it. Minecraft. This game had so many great moments with chat and stream. I grew the channel so much because of it. I have so many fond memories playing this game. We had such a cool community, and doing a realm really was a standout moment of my year. I still have the realm, but I need to go back to it. It was tough because the community can be quite toxic at times. I won't lie, but that shouldn't matter. It should be what I enjoy. And I don't know if you know what's coming up at number 1. Ooh, don't skip ahead because the other games are good too. Number 3, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, did you think I was going to say OG or Rebirth? No, this is a remake. I love the music. I love the game. There's so much good about it. So good. Oh, Jessie. Fell in love with that character so much this year. Gooning to Jessie. Oh my goodness. And number 2, Doo-Doo, the final Doo-Doo of the day. No. That's so sad. But what's not sad is that this is a link to the past. This game was gamer. This game made me have faith in humanity again. It was so special. I keep saying special because it's true. It's true. It's so true. This game is so dang good. Versatile is the worst word that I could use for this, but the game is versatile. It's got so much going for it. There's such a cult classic vibe to it. I know why people play this 30 years later. It's just that good. It's beloved by me now. I'm part of the cult of A Link to the Past. I'm also a huge cult follower to this game. What do you think it is? But before we go to that, before we go to our number 1, let's give a number 6 gaming choice. You're never going to guess my number 1 spot. Number 6 is Rebirth. Number 3 is Remake. What do you think is my number 1? Huh? What do you think? If we're improving, you didn't think I was going to forget about little old Final Fantasy VII, did you? Ain't no way. This game had the best game direction. This game had the best narrative. This game had a solid score. This game was overall chef's kiss. I love this game so much. And I need to give a very special thank you to all of you who watched this. And thank you to my 4 wonderful moderators. Thank you to the Juicebox. Thank you, Tropius Forest. Thank you, Asuda Hyuga. And thank you, Phalanx, aka Benny. You guys are all so helpful and so crucial to the success of this channel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That brings us to the conclusion of the Game Awards. Before we go, I wanted to give a special thank you to all of my channel members. Our channel members are starting to expand. We've got more members than ever before. Wow. When I first recorded the Game Awards, I had 8 members. That was a lot for the channel, but now we have 52 members and I have to redo the list. All right, here goes. Thank you to Tropius Forest, Asuda Hyuga, Brad the Gamer, Kyle Aubin, General Mochi, Nick Ellis, Laney830, Colton Blood, Dylan Blackburn, Ethan Taylor, Kino Lena, The Juice Box, and Psychic Jalen. Only Cuts, Mr. Michael Law, Not a Spy, Zodacryl, Unarmed Window, Tails and Cream, Delta Broom, Denver Brewer, JBOTW, Leo Tucker, Dub, Catriona, Alucard, Daniel Mitchell, Sir Towels Kingdom, Smokey the Clown, Jeffrey Kofer, Zane Lost, Ryan Dunn, Diverse Curse, Lucky Lovely, Rupin Nike, Runil, Patrick Hosegood, GG, Hunter Fowler, Daniel Burrington, Christopher Peterson, Dope Doughboy, Natalie Path, King Fegith, Damo Defrain, Gerhard, Mothy Teardrop, Humongous, Dustin Johnston, Lameno, and Retro Food. Quite the list, hey? Thank you all so much. You are truly Dio. And if you want to be featured at the end of all of my long form videos, become a channel member today. You also get bonus perks if you join as a member during streams. You'll get a spin of the wheel and you'll get content before everybody else. Thank you all so much for viewing this. This was the Game Awards, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.